Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you a smoky, bronzy makeup look that looks great on everybody, especially those of you with lighter eyes. Today it's all about the fun and the glamour. By the way, I'm Jeannie. I'm a pro makeup artist in Los Angeles. I work with celebrities, beauty brands, and everyone in between. Today I'm here with my beautiful green-eyed babe, Amy. She's my model today, so let's get started. All right, to start the makeup, Amy doesn't have anything on her face right now, not even moisturizer. We're starting with a completely clean and bare canvas. The reason being is that I like to start with brows, and if there's any residual product on the face, whether it's serum or moisturizer, a lot of times the product that you put down won't stay. So I like to start with a clean, bare canvas, and then I go into brows, and then I moisturize and prep the skin. If you've watched any of my videos, my shorts, anything about brows, you know that this is kind of my ride or die. It's the Anastasia Brow Freeze. I love it. I use it in pretty much every single eyebrow that I do. I'm gonna take a little bit on a spoolie here, and then I have another clean spoolie that I use to kind of go back over the brows after I put the product in. I'm just gonna show you. So we're gonna, since we're doing a glamorous look today, we're going for a big fat brow, and she has great brows. I'm just gonna take the end of this and then press the product in, and that should give us the lift that we need. And if you have any sort of wonky hairs, you can always trim those if you want, but I like it when brows aren't too perfect. Amy's lucky to have naturally fat brows. I have to fake mine by brushing them up and drawing them in. She has this little hole here. We're gonna fill that in, but I'm loving the arch that's creating. We're gonna fill that in too. So we're just gonna keep that. A lot of times I say if you're gonna brush the brow, if you're gonna try and shape the brow, go with where your brows naturally go. And then we're gonna press down. Like you can use a finger, you can use the end of a wand, of a brush, it doesn't matter. I know, I do too. So good. I'm using a brand now we both love. This is Stila. This is the Stay All Day Waterproof Brow, and this is the dark one. I'm just gonna take it. It's very pigmented, so I'm not gonna use a lot of it, but because she has a little bit of a hole in her brow here, for lack of a better term, sorry Amy, just to get that shape that I'm looking for. She has a little hair that was sticking out, but I don't wanna trim it. So I'm working with what we've got, which is a lot. It's a lot more than what I have naturally. And then I'm just gonna take it on this side, just a little on the arch. We're gonna go in with another brow pen. This is the NYX Lift and Snatch. I love these. This is ash brown. One of the secrets to my brows that I like to do on my clients and myself is I like to use 2 different color brow pens, especially if I'm doing a lot of drawing, if I'm faking a fat brow. I feel like that way, when you're using 2 different shades, it's gonna look more natural, even if you are trying to create a brow that's much bigger than your natural brow. If you go really light with the strokes, and like I said, if you use 2 different shades, they just blend really well. They look like real hair. So since we are sort of prepping for our red carpet, you could say our glamorous evening, one of the things I love to do before I do any makeup or any base after brows is I like to set the brows with a setting spray. I'm gonna do this at the end as well, but I like to do it at the beginning because it just gives us a little bit more of an insurance policy. Close your eyes. And it also creates a really nice canvas for the skincare and the eventual foundation to go onto as well. So we're gonna go right in with skincare. I'm not gonna do a ton of layers because I do wanna put a primer on her as well. And when I'm doing makeup for events, I try to eliminate as many layers of product as possible so then we get more longevity out of the makeup. So I'm gonna go straight in with moisturizer, and we are gonna go very luxury today. This is the Sisley Black Rose moisturizer. It is so wonderful. It looks so beautiful under makeup, and it smells like heaven. Plumps, hydrates, and it just feels really silky, and it absorbs really quickly. And because I can't leave well enough alone, I'm gonna go in with the Sisley Black Rose eye cream as well, because it's just, as the kids used to say, thebomb.com. I don't know if they're saying it anymore.
I say it.
Okay, I still say it, but I'm not really a kid anymore, so. All right, now that her face is prepped, we're gonna go in with the Tom Ford Soft Matte Primer right here. Like I said, I don't normally use primers, but this one with the foundation, which I will also be using, I have her foundation on the palette as well, but there's a little bit of the primer. I'm just gonna take it on this Real Techniques brush and just sort of prepping and priming. It doesn't really matte out the skin. It just sort of like creates a soft focus. So when I say matte, I don't want you to think that we're gonna be doing anything that's flat. So for foundation, we're just gonna go in with the soft matte from Tom Ford, like I told you. I love this foundation. It's really perfect for photography or for carpets, which is kind of what we're going for. Because it doesn't have a flashback, there's no SPF in it, and it has a soft matte finish, which I would say is definitely more skin-like. We're just gonna go in with a flat brush, starting in the middle of the face and working out. And I'm also going in really thin layers. You'll also notice that it's a little bit warmer than Amy's face, and I did that on purpose because I'm matching her chest. So I figured it would be best to zoom out for this just because I wanted to show you how I matched it to her chest. So what I would do is I'll just take the foundation all the way down her neck and then just blend it, just making sure everything is seamless. So then we're not doing the floating head, especially for flash photography when your face tends to be a little bit lighter anyway because of the flash in pictures. We're just gonna push that in. So now her foundation is on. I'm gonna go to eyes and then we're gonna go back and finish everything. So to start, I'm gonna just put a little bit of concealer all over her eyelid up to the brow bone. This is Custard from NARS. It's a little bit lighter as you can see, but there's a reason for that. And that's basically just to brighten the eye area and to prep it for the smokiness we're gonna put on top. I'm just gonna set that concealer with a little bit of loose powder. Now to start with the eye, we're gonna go in with this Sisley eye pencil. It's the Fido Eye Kohl, and it's the number 1. It's just like a nice deep chocolate brown, and I'm just gonna sketch the smoke out. I'm just gonna take a brush and just, these dry fairly quickly, so you have to work kind of in stages. And I'm just working it inwards and upwards. And this is gonna help be the base of our shape. You don't have to really worry about it being too precise right now. And then I'm just gonna bring it in a little bit onto the lid around midway. Taking the brush, just softening that. Coming in on where the socket is. Sometimes when you're working, you just have to switch brushes just to create that shape. And I'm gonna clean up out there, but that's what we're looking for. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. I'm gonna go into this Tom Ford palette. I'm just gonna use this beautiful, like, milky chocolate brown. Repeating the same thing on the other side. And I'm just bringing it in, creating kind of that outer V. I'm going in with a clean brush. Don't be concerned about the shape, we're gonna fix it. But you can kind of see where we're going. Next, I'm gonna take this Makeup by Mario Metallics palette and I'm gonna go in this really deep, chocolatey, shimmery color, and we're just gonna accentuate. So yes, it is a lot of layering, but that's just to give it depth. Then we're gonna take the same palette, we're gonna go in with this kind of coppery metallic on a flat brush. And we're just gonna place this on the lid. And we're gonna go back to the Tom Ford palette and we're gonna take Fluffy Brush, this beautiful sort of marigold color, and we're just gonna put that in the crease and up in the brow bone. And this just sort of helps to blend the top of that smoke. We're gonna go back into the quad and we're gonna take this really pretty amberish tone. All right, now on to eyeliner. I just have a little bit of the Maybelline gel eyeliner on the back of my hand. I'm taking this Smith Cosmetics brush right here. As you can see, it's really tapered and flat. This is the 212. I'm gonna tightline Amy's eyes and then just lift, getting all the way into that inner eye. And this is really gonna smoke it out and make her light eyes pop. And now we're just doing the inner waterline as well. And now for eyeliner on the lid, I'm gonna use this Neutrogena kohl. This is the darkest kohl I've found from the drugstore. I really, really love it. And I put it in my kit and now I can't not have it in my kit because it's just so good and it's really, really affordable. So just take it along the lash line. And we could extend the liner just a little bit up in the same direction as our shadow, but I want the shadow to be the star, not the liner. So I'm not really gonna go for like a full out wing. And then I'm gonna take just a black shadow on the same brush, just soften that a bit. So Amy just curled her lashes off camera. We're gonna go in with some mascara. This is the Mascara Lash Rocket from Freck. I'm gonna use it directly from the tube because I will be giving it to Amy afterwards. Otherwise I would be using disposables. Look down for me. If you need a blink, you totally can. So one of my tricks for removing fallout underneath the eyes without removing a lot of the makeup is I'll take the eye cream that I was using just on the back of my hand, and then I'll just take a Q-tip and kind of work it in, and then just look up, and then I'll just try and pick up. And by using the eye cream, it's hydrating the area as you're removing, and it doesn't disturb the makeup as much as if you used a wipe or like a micellar water or something. And it also preps it again for concealer. So I realized in my haste that we didn't do any lashes, so let's do some lashes. I have these, they're actually from Amazon, and they're a dupe for the Swede lashes. I have a little bit of glue on the back of my hand. I'm just gonna take, and I have this lovely tweezerman tool that has the angle to it. It's really great for placing lashes on the lash line. I'm just gonna grab a few of them and just place them on the outer corner of Amy's eyes. So I already did this side, realizing that I didn't have the camera on. Sorry about that. So I basically just took the concealer all the way under and then just followed the angle of the shadow. And I'm just gonna let that sit for a second, bringing it down almost onto the cheekbone. Just turn for me, and then extending it. Just on a flat synthetic brush. Use whatever brush or sponge. I find that if I use a sponge with placement, it gets everywhere. So I need a little bit more precision when I'm doing concealer like this, for a look like this. I'm just gonna bring it down, kind of feather it into the cheekbone, the middle of the forehead, for a little bit of brightening, down the nose, on the chin. And for some reason, I love to do concealer around the nose. I feel like there's just always a need to do a little bit more coverage around there. And then I'm gonna go in with my sponge and just kind of press it all in. All right, concealer's blended out, and I'm gonna do something that I like to call baby baking, which is basically taking, this is the Huda pound cake powder on a brush. I just have it in this little container here, and I'm just gonna take this first under the eye. I like to set the under eye first, so then when I'm placing the powder with the puff, it doesn't stick to the skin. So this is gonna give it a little bit of slip. And basically, I'm just gonna take this really cute little puff right here. You can get them on Amazon. It's just this little triangle puff. And I'm gonna work it in. As you can see, just have a little bit on the edge here. I like to work it into my hand first, just to really get it in there, and tap it, and look up. I'm just gonna do a little bit of setting. Amy also doesn't really have a lot of fine lines under her eyes, so she can get away with a pressed powder underneath. On the top of the nose, forehead. And then on this Dalian brush right here, just tiny little flat shader brush. It's the 755 smudge brush. We're gonna go back in to the copper. I like to do all of this after I do concealer, just so then you're not worried about any gaps between the concealer and the eyeshadow. Bringing it in. This is really gonna help kind of smoke it out. And then I'm gonna go back in with this darker bronzy shade and just go right on top of that. To finish off the eyes, I'm gonna go back in the Tom Ford palette because like I said, I just can't help myself. And I'm gonna take my finger and then closed, I'm just gonna tap onto the lid. Just give it that little extra oomph of glam. So right about now, because the eyes are done, you're thinking, let's go do the face. And that's not exactly the way I work. What I like to do is when it comes to balancing out the face, particularly for a red carpet look or something that's more dramatic like this, I'll do the lips next. And then because the eye is done and the lip are done, I'll do the rest of the face and make sure everything is balanced and perfect. So I'm gonna go in with Charlotte Tilbury's Iconic Nude, definitely a favorite. As you can see, it's very well loved. It's a little short. But we're just gonna line here and then try the Mary Phillips technique where you overline the Cupid's bow, which is really pretty. Making sure you go all the way to the corners, no gaps. And because I live for this combination, we're gonna go on with Bitch Perfect, also from Charlotte Tilbury, on a Smith 302 brush, which is just one of their lip brushes. Now that the lips are on, we're gonna go back in and finish the face. So I'm gonna go in with this Tom Ford blush in Explicit Flush. It's nice and peachy, just to match the peach of the lip. Top of the nose. And then because I have to be extra, I'm gonna take Jamie makeup in the nude one, just this gorgeous cream highlighter blush combo with my blender, and just tap it on top because I love a sheen, and I think the whole rule of not being able to put a cream on top of a powder is not a rule. Rules are meant to be broken. Nose. Then we're just gonna set the face. This is the Don't Mind My Very Well Loved Charlotte Tilbury powder. This is number 2. It's just high points of the face. Say anywhere that would flash back if she was being photographed. And last but not least, setting spray, Hourglass Soft Focus, which we started with. Final step, if she were actually going out to a red carpet, I would make sure to not only finish the face, but the body as well. So I have a little bit of Pretty Potion on here. It's a body moisturizer and makeup. And I'm just gonna hit her décolleté and her shoulders, down the arms. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you wanna see more content like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, Amy.
Of course, thanks for having me.